The controversy centers on Jay Jones, the Democratic nominee for Virginia Attorney General, after inflammatory and violent text messages he sent in 2022 were recently unearthed. In the private exchange with a Republican delegate, Jones mused about a hypothetical scenario where he would just to shoot then-Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert twice over even Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot. He also reportedly suggested that Republican lawmakers needed to experience the death of their children to change their political views. This revelation triggered immediate and widespread backlash across the political spectrum. While Jones issued an apology, calling his remarks abhorrent, embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry, and vowing to take full accountability, Republicans quickly seized on the texts as disqualifying. President Donald Trump dramatically amplified the story, publicly calling for Jones to drop out immediately, and endorsing the Republican incumbent, Jason Miyares, labeling Jones a radical left lunatic. The analysis shows this is more than typical campaign drama. It taps into profound national anxieties. In an era marked by heightened political polarization and genuine concerns over rising political violence, including the recent assassination of a MAGA activist mentioned in reports, rhetoric advocating violence, even hypothetically, is viewed as crossing an unforgivable moral and political boundary. For a candidate aspiring to be the state's top law enforcement officer, the perceived lack of judgment and moral character makes the calls for withdrawal politically potent and difficult to ignore. Reasons and consequences. The primary reason for the intense pressure on Jones to drop out stems from the nature of the text messages themselves. Wishing death upon a political opponent and their children is universally condemned, making it politically toxic and morally disqualifying for an office that requires trust and integrity in upholding the rule of law for all citizens, regardless of party affiliation. Prominent figures, including Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, Vice President J.D. Vance, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, have all denounced the messages as unacceptable. The consequences of this scandal are significant and multi-layered. 1. For Jones's candidacy, his viability is severely damaged. Even with his apology, the remarks will dominate the remainder of the campaign, diverting attention from policy issues and alienating moderate voters necessary for a statewide win in Virginia. 2. For the Democratic ticket, the scandal creates a major liability for the entire Democratic slate, particularly gubernatorial nominee Abigail Spanberger, who is being pressured by Republicans to call for Jones's full withdrawal. Her measured condemnation without a full withdrawal call may satisfy neither the angry electorate nor her Democratic base, potentially dampening turnout or turning the focus away from her own race. 3. For the GOP, the incumbent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, receives a massive unearned boost. He can run as the stable, ethical alternative while using Jones's rhetoric to galvanize his base. Trump's endorsement further nationalizes the race and injects organizational and financial energy into the Republican campaign. Prediction and solutions. Prediction. Despite the mounting pressure, Jones has stated he will not drop out, and it is highly likely he will hold firm. While Spanberger and other Democrats have condemned the content, a full call for Jones to resign is a difficult political calculation. It might satisfy ethical concerns, but could fracture the Democratic base just weeks before the election. Therefore, the most probable outcome is that Jones remains the nominee, but the race will shift dramatically in Miyares' favor, turning the contest into a referendum on Jones's character rather than a debate on law and policy. This controversy could depress Democratic turnout and become a drag on the rest of the ticket. Solutions, political moves. 4. For J. Jones, the only path to damage control is a strategic pivot. Jones must cease dwelling on the past. His solution needs to be a dramatic, visible commitment to good governance. He must go beyond simply apologizing and instead launch a campaign initiative focusing heavily on ethics reform and unifying law enforcement, actively presenting himself as the person who learned from a grievous error to become a more responsible leader. 5. For the Democratic ticket, Spanberger and other statewide candidates must find a way to ethically condemn the rhetoric while professionally maintaining the integrity of the ticket. The best political solution for them is a clear, concise public statement strongly denouncing all political violence and rhetoric, which Spanberger has done, then immediately pivoting to contrast their policy platform with Miyares' record, effectively treating Jones's candidacy as a necessary but distinct entity on the ballot. 6. For the GOP, their solution is simple. Continue to press the issue aggressively. By keeping the text messages in the news cycle, they reinforce the narrative that the Democratic ticket harbors extreme elements, forcing Democrats to continue playing defense until Election Day. This issue will likely serve as a pivotal moment in the 2025 Virginia elections, illustrating how toxic rhetoric, even from years past, can quickly disqualify a candidate and reshape an entire statewide political landscape.